I'm just taking it very seriously.
Ready, Bob?
I've got a pot in my mouth.
Awesome.
Wait, hold up, Joe. Good. Go ahead.
Wash it down with a bit.
Cool.
Mouth is full of Snickers.
Sorry, man. I chose some poor snacks for conversation. Anyway, Storms, guys, boys, thank you so much for joining me here in my living room of all places.
We feel at home.
It's awesome. That's the kind of vibe we wanted. You know, there's books and things that are in homes, DVDs. No one really has DVDs anymore. We do.
I definitely have like most of those DVDs are some kind of monster.
Yeah,
it's definitely in my collection.
Suits.
So is the Sopranos collection.
Suits
most definitely is as well.
Only one season though, because the other one isn't on Netflix.
Yeah.
But hey, believe it or not, more interesting things happening than the new Suits at the moment. You guys are about to drop a brand new album.
Wow, what a compliment.
Yeah. But to talk about the album, guys, so Sin will find you. It's out Friday, so
6 hours actually.
Goodness, so we're not sure when this is going to go up, but 6 hours from when we're talking, it goes. So what's it like to be you guys right now, 6 hours from releasing your sophomore album?
Terrifying.
Really?
No, but exciting.
It's good. Like
We have
about time,
everything,
to be
mixed
honest.
emotions for sure.
It's a mixture depending on each person. It's a really busy time for us. That's mostly, it's stressed more about what's going on at all times than just the release, but mostly excitement with the release.
For sure.
It's real busy. I mean, to be honest, this is less stressful than last year, most certainly because I already got the reviews last week and I got a bad one. And you're like, so that is definitely really reassuring. Like, it's always really iffy because you're going to get that public perception. I'm still expecting that to come through. Like, that's the biggest thing to see what the fans think. Really, that's the kind of the most nerve-wracking thing. But it is nice to have already had a lot of positive feedback from what we've done so far.
Well, what are you guys looking for from, like, once it comes out? Like, what's your sign of mark of success? Is it sales, reviews? Like, is there something in this that you guys are looking to achieve that will make you go, okay, yeah, that album was what we wanted?
We're definitely thinking long term. Like, I think like first week sales. Obviously, it's very important for any band, but like. We want to think bigger picture type thing anyway.
So this is phase one in a greater scheme.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
wanted to kind of write an album that wasn't, our last album came out almost a year after we had finished it. By the time it came out, it was a little bit less relevant than it would have been if we put it out when it was finished. And one of the best things that we did thinking about writing this record was trying to go into it and write a record that wasn't going to really have a date. It was just kind of, in the 70s it would have made sense, in the 80s it would have made sense.
I think at the end of the day that just came down to our attitudes and the way we went about writing it, which was just writing this record for ourselves and not for other people.
So there's so much language from you guys about kind of what went into this album, your mindset, collective mindset as a band. I mean, do not put too fine a point onto it, but like you go on some of the comments on your socials and it becomes very obvious you guys went a different direction with this album than what people were expecting. And there was some talk about sitting with the producer and kind of really opening up to one another. Like, what album did you guys think you were going to make when you went in, before you knew you were going to have that session? Did you think you were going to do another really heavy album?
No, I didn't think heavy was ever going to be. Like, I mean, we always wanted to expand our sound, like at the same time to be the heaviest thing and be the softest thing. But there's different ways of being heavy than open zeros and drop tuning, which is what we've learned. And it's like the most heavy music that I love personally is like UK punk. Like, where it came from in the 80s is aggression, it's rage about something you have something to say about, not just making guttural noises. So I think we pushed like the things that we think are what heavy music should be onto the record. We still have those elements, but we've also just let ourselves experiment with all the other stuff that we like and listen to and want to be part of our music, because at the end of the day, like, we're not just angry, we're not just angsty people, and like, that's definitely not the case at all. We experience a range of emotions and a range of different things, and we want all of those to be present on the music that we make. So I think this time we just kind of blocked everyone else out and said, fuck it, like if we're, I don't know if I can swear on record, but
fucking do it.
We were happy to be vulnerable and be exposed to each other so that we can then put that into a record.
Right on. I've been fortunate enough to hear the whole album. The two singles so far, Medicine and Lilac. So visual counterparts for you guys, I always feel had a lot of significance with the band. And then this time round, with these two video clips, it seems to be related. Or is it just the same actors? Did I get that wrong?
It's a continuation.
Right. So, I mean, to me, that's an immediate sign when I should, stop what I'm doing and pay attention to everything that happens in this song and the next song and the rest of the album. What's the theme? Was there a continuous message throughout the album?
The concept of it for me was basically almost a musical and visual representation of a diary of a 20-year-old growing up in Melbourne. So I kind of took a step back and really just went, well, what do I know about? And it's my life. And I just went, I'm going to be 100% honest and not tell right things into the record that literally only the people in this room kind of know now. And that's going to be trying to broadcast worldwide tomorrow.
It's about admitting that we're flawed. It's about admitting that every single person in this group and in the world is flawed. Everyone has the same insecurities and the same issues, and that's what that record or the videos are about. The visual representation of that. Like, it's a relationship between two people. Shane, the main character, leaves his partner, and essentially his coping mechanism. So he turns to someone else for comfort. He turns to substance. He turns to music, and there's a whole bunch of things that he does in that where people would describe as sinful in terms of the in the box kind of like tradition.
Yeah, sure.
To try to say, well, that's not what's wrong. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. People cope. Everyone has those experiences. That's just about understanding and allowing us to say that we've done this, and it's okay for you to feel like you don't have to be ashamed of who you are or if you've made mistakes or done silly shit, because literally everybody has done it.
So it's almost kind of like sin will find you, but you'll be right.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's unavoidable. Like, you know what I mean? That's saying sin will, like, you can't avoid it, but is that a bad thing?
Sure.
Is there anything wrong with doing these behaviours that people consider sinful?
If you think on the basis that if we all do it and it connects us all, then how's that bad? That's a beautiful thing, right?
Exactly.
If all these bad things are uniting us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're saying. That's exactly the point.
Exactly.
The songs aren't, not heavy in the sense of, rock and open string for half the song, but it's like thematically heavy. It's a little bit like a soundtrack at some points.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be a pretty epic live show. These are some big fucking venues. So you guys must be pretty stoked. I mean, what's the vibe like with the shows? Open, like, personal stuff in front of thousands of people that are staring at you.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's, as I said, like, there's a lot of things on the record vocally that, like, I've never said to anyone, let alone sung to thousands of people. So that's daunting. One of the biggest things that I really wanted to push through is, like, not necessarily an opinion, but just like a mirror on the public and on my life, essentially, because I feel like my life isn't that different to every other person in my age bracket in Melbourne, if not more. And it's more, instead of saying like, hey, like, it's okay to have an escape in this, but I think it's more saying you need to understand that it's normal, but in that, like, look and find an education in it and understand what you're doing and how it's going to affect you. And I think that's one of the biggest things with the drug themes in the album specifically, because in Melbourne there's such a drug culture.
Sure.
I really wanted to push the idea, don't just look at your kids and go, hey, don't do drugs, because they're probably going to
do it anyway.
So, like, sit your kid down and really, like, talk to them about your experiences. And not saying, everything's bad about it or everything's good about it. It's not the only way to go. There's a lot of different other areas that you can focus on to help yourself as well, and that's part of it too. So it's kind of well-rounded theme.
Yeah. And we bring it into a live space. We're pretty excited for. We've got a lot of new visual stuff that we bring into that we haven't done before.
Good shit.
So some really cool shit that we've been working on. We've got new instruments in. We've got keys we haven't used before, a bunch of like live samples, all live electronic percussion, everything. All the stuff is triggered, it's all played live. Everything, as much as we can, we try and make sure is replicated live, and that's what we just say. We've got a whole scheme of new toys on stage, as well as a whole new visual show.
Fuck yeah.
For us to rock up and press play and then sing to it, like,
we wouldn't be happy with that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a thing.
Sure.
So hopefully when we do a headline tour throughout this album release, we'll do at least one, but you'll see more of that.
Keep an eye out for the announce. Anyway, boys, that's all the questions I got for you. I think I got enough out of you.
Yums? Hello. What is it?
Marcus, man, we're trying to have an interview here, dude. Come on.
But
Marcus, come on. Get out. Come on. I know, Marcus. Thanks, but we're trying to do an interview.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks so much for putting up with me. You got 6 hours and you're going to go party before the album release, so I'm not going to hold you back any longer. Go get a monster. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks,
right?
Awesome.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for that, guys. Hope that was painless. Nice and all right. The cat did a thing.
Yeah. Songs.
Yeah, let's try this.